One of these instruments was a television camera used to send signals back to Earth. Another device they brought was used to measure solar winds. And another instrument was meant to measure laser beams sent from Earth, which would help calculate exact distance in the future. Then there was a passive seismometer, the fourth instrument, which could detect moonquakes just like we have earthquakes on Earth. In total, they collected 23 kilograms of moon rocks and soil samples and left behind an American flag. And they also left behind a memorial plaque that read, "Here men from the planet Earth first set foot upon the moon." The lunar module was supposed to stay on the moon for around 21 hours. After that, it had to lift off again and reattach to the CSM module. And for that ascent, they had to reignite the engine using propulsion. But neither astronaut knew that the switch needed to start the engine had broken, something I mentioned earlier in the video. Later, they informed Mission Control about this issue. And once again, they had to rely on luck or perhaps clever thinking. Neil Armstrong began to brainstorm a solution. He realized the switch was just meant to complete an electric circuit. So he started looking for something that could close the circuit manually. And believe it or not, they ended up using a specially designed ballpoint pen made for this mission because its outer casing was made of conductive metal. They used it to complete the circuit and it worked. After that, the lunar module successfully reattached to the CSM module and the spacecraft changed course, heading back to Earth. Now during re-entry, the design required the command module and service module to detach. But here's the tricky part. To avoid this, the command module was equipped with small propellers for maneuvering. There was concern that as the service module separated and hit Earth's atmosphere, friction could tear it apart into dangerous pieces, possibly damaging the command module. Still, the risk was extremely high. One small accident could have killed all three astronauts. In fact, the risk was so real that U.S. President Richard Nixon had already prepared an alternate speech just in case the astronauts died. Can you imagine? An alternate speech, and here's what it said. "Fate has ordained that the men who went to the moon to explore in peace will stay on the moon to rest in peace. These brave men, Neil Armstrong and Edwin Aldrin, know that there is no hope for their recovery. These two men are laying down their lives in mankind's most noble goal, the search for truth and understanding." But thankfully, that speech was never needed. Now when the time finally came to detach the service module from the command module, something went wrong. The propellers on the command module failed, and the astronauts looked out the window and saw pieces of the service module breaking off and heading straight toward them. But once again, luck was on their side, and against all odds, the command module made it safely through re-entry toward Earth. As soon as it hit the atmosphere, the parachutes deployed, and finally the module landed in the ocean. All three astronauts returned alive and unharmed. They were quickly rescued from the sea by recovery ships. Even though so many things in this mission didn't go according to plan, it was a mix of luck and smart decision-making that ultimately made it a success.